Avengers: Secret Wars will be released on May 7th, 2027. It was originally announced for May 1st, 2026, but that got pushed back amid strikes-related delays. The sixth Avengers movie follows and from Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, or Avengers 5 as it may now be called, which is now in the 2026 spot. When we were doing Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, there were fewer projects over more years. Feige previously explained for the 6-year gap between Avengers, Endgame, and the next Avengers movie. They were smaller projects and individual character stories, and it felt appropriate at the point that after every 2 or 3 years that it took for a phase, we would do an Avengers film. The Marvel boss also suggested that the larger output from Marvel, including the MCU shows on Disney Plus, lessens the need for a new Avengers film every year, which makes sense given that Avengers members Hawkeye and Wanda, as well as the Avengers agent Loki, were given their own solo show. Each Disney Plus show has set up lore and canon that became an official part of the MCU and makes its way into the larger film projects. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the CineFact. And today we have Avengers: Secret Wars release date, cast, plot, and more. Here's everything we know about Avengers: Secret Wars. Avengers: Secret Wars is still way off on the Marvel timeline, but that hasn't stopped us speculating about just what will happen, given too that it will also be the conclusion to both Multiverse, Saga, and Marvel Phase 6. We're pretty sure it's going to have huge consequences on the MCU going forward. No director has been confirmed just yet, though many are predicting Ryan Coogler, director of Black Panther and Black Panther. Wakanda Forever could helm the film, but there is still tons to check out below. So, for the lowdown on Secret Wars, look no further than the ultimate guide right here. We can expect something of endgame proportions when the movie finally releases too. So if you're looking for the get up to speed on everything there is to know about Avengers 6, you have come to the right place. Currently, Avengers: Secret Wars doesn't have a director. For a while, it was thought that Marvel was looking for a different director in Avengers 5 as they had locked in Shang-Chi's destined Daniel Cretton for that one. However, now that he's no longer attached and the Kang Dynasty is without a director, this might not be the plan anymore. So far, Marvel has kept consistency with their Avengers directors. The first 2 Avengers movies were both directed by Joss Whedon, while Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame were helmed by the Russo brothers. Speaking of the Russos, they've long said they would want to bring Secret Wars to the screen. However, in an interview with MTV, the brothers confirmed that they have not yet had discussion with Marvel about taking on the project. We haven't had conversations with those guys about anything that they're up to because we've been intensely busy with our own schedule, Joe Russo said. The Dussos currently expanding the Grey's Man universe for Netflix and working on their Prime Widows show Citadel's expansion, which will likely take up the majority of their time. We'll update this section when a director is announced. Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige has also addressed calls for Black Panther and Wakanda Forever helmer Ryan Coogler to direct Secret Wars. Well, I would want Ryan to do anything at any time because he's a singular talent and a great person to spend years with, Feige told Variety. But no, in all honesty, there've been no conversations. We have not spoken to him about Secret Wars. The movie has, however, found its writer, Doctor Strange, in the Multiverse of Madness, and lucky writer Michael Waldron has been tapped to open the script. Of course, he is also writing the script for Avengers 5 too. Avengers: Secret Wars cast. With Avengers: Secret Wars being so far off, there is no word on who to expect in the cast. However, the 2015 Secret Wars comics that the movie looks set to be heavily based on featured Thor, both Miles Morales and Peter Parker, Wolverine, Captain America, She-Hulk, and the Fantastic Four, and so many more. The Beyonder, the Lizard, Magneto, Doctor Doom, in his most powerful form as God Emperor Doom, Molecule Man, and Kang the Conqueror were also big-time villains in the Secret Wars storyline. Now, Kang's future in the MCU is a bit unclear at the moment. This is because Jonathan Majors has been dropped by Marvel Studios and will no longer play Kang. It's possible he'll be recast, but we'd had no confirmation on that one yet. In terms of other antagonists, Doctor Doom, the Beyonder, and Molecule Man serve as the main three who seek destruction. But it's possible that the storyline will change in order to feature Kang as the ultimate supervillain who condemns the heroes to an eternal fight. It's also possible that, because all realities are now possible, within the multiverse we may see the return of Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man and Chris Evans as Captain America. Though either actor coming back feels like a quite stretch, Kevin Feige has ruled out the potential, but this is Marvel, so it's hard to know who to believe at the moment. We can probably presume, though, that superheroes with solo projects in phases 4 through 6, such as Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Thor, Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, and Fantastic Four, will show up to try and save Earth. We might even get the young Avengers too, considering that the Marvel's ending scene. Avengers Secret Wars plot. There have been two prominent Secret Wars storylines in Marvel Comics, the first of which launched in 1984 as part of collaboration between the comic book maker and toy manufacturer Mattel. The intention being that they would launch a line of toys alongside a huge crossover event in the comics. The first Secret Wars is therefore considered the first ever official Marvel crossover event, with a 12-issue series billed as the ultimate showdown between the most powerful heroes and villains in the Marvel Universe. The story sees a villain called the Beyonder send our heroes to a planet known as Battleworld, in which they are trapped and locked into seemingly eternal battle with other villains. Many heroes' storylines are drastically altered, including Spider-Man, who receives his famous all-black costume that ends up being a living alien symbiote, which attempts to take over Peter's mind before attaching itself to Eddie Brock and becoming Venom. While the original Secret Wars is much loved, the MCU seems set to be more akin to the 2015 comic book run that saw the destruction of the Prime Marvel Universe, Earth 616 as we know it. Essentially, the Beyonders, there are many of them, are trying to collapse the multiverse through inscriptions, which is when universe collide and become unstable. The Beyonders are doing this all by using Molecule Man, the only person who exists in basically the exact same context and identity in every world. He is essentially a failed-safe whose powers can be activated by the Beyonders destroying that universe. However, the Beyonders are foiled by Doctor Doom. However, being a dastardly villain, Doom then reconstructs Better World using elements of different universes. Many heroes were drastically changed in the process, though the Avengers eventually come out on top and defeat Doom, who is known as God Emperor Doom. You can read much more about the Secret Wars comics here. We've already seen the groundwork for this story being laid out in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange of Earth 838 causes an incursion, destroying his universe and another. The multiverse itself has now been well established thanks to the Doctor Strange School and Spider-Man No Way Home, which featured multiple Peter Parkers. The theme continued into Loki Season 2, as will the Marvels, and we're guessing we haven't seen the last of that yet either. That's everything we know so far about Avengers Secret Wars, and thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and subscribed, make sure to also like. I will see you in next time.
You die for that.